Obviously, we're excited to win that football game. I'm exhausted by the end of that. Credit to our guys to score on special teams, to score on offense, to play, great defense for most of the game. Get some turnovers. Some guys stepped up. Thought Curtis Samuel was a difference maker today. Dante Jackson, they took 5 shots at Dante, and he made the play every time. Trey Boston getting a pick, Tahir Whitehead getting a pick. Michael Schofield had to step in, had to move over to left tackle because we're down. All the guys were down. Russell's down, Greg's down, and Trent Scott got hurt, and he stepped up. So, it wasn't always pretty at the end, but it was one we're proud of. For us, that was a playoff game for them. I think the Giants lost. At least they were losing when I went out to the field, and they were fighting to go make the playoffs. So for us to step up in that type of an environment and win a game all the way through the end, I think it's a good step for us.
Let's go to Jason Brown to start, and then Joe Person.
Thank you, Preston. Coach, congratulations on the win. With all the struggles you've gone through recently, 8 of 9, 3 in a row to get this win, you mentioned being proud. Does it also speak, I guess, to the perseverance of this team because you're able to capitalize on mistakes that throughout the season you haven't always been able to do?
I've been proud of this team. I've been proud of this team even in some of the losses. I think that they battle, they fight. We had a lot of the same, mistakes today. We were able to play our way through them. The guys made plays. We were very confident coming into the game, and I think that's a testament to who these guys are, that they bounced back from yet again that loss from last week. Went through Christmas and all that thing without distractions and got here. So I think we're building a program that's got, real character, and the character comes from the guys in that room.
Hey, Matt, there's certain segments in every fan base. You heard it with the Jets the last couple of weeks, and even with your fan base that, well, they won, but they hurt their draft pick. Why, in your mind, was this an important win, and what does it mean for your program going forward?
I think teams that have historically tried to lose to improve their draft pick hasn't really worked out for many teams. The winning franchises win. They win at everything. It's hard for me to even think that way, Joe, because it's just my mind doesn't work that way. We're here to win. We have a locker room full of guys who want to win. They've won their whole life. Sometimes you guys will ask me, like, do you have to learn how to win? Well, if you believe that, if you never actually win, then you won't learn how to win. So, I think, we're the Carolina Panthers. We're a professional football team. And we're someone that, we expect people to, when they line up and play us, to respect us and know that they're going to be in for a dogfight, and that we expect to win. And so to do anything else but that does not respect the Panther. And to me, I'm always going to put the Panther first. And we have to find ways to win games. And so to me, to go on the road, cold weather, coming off a tough loss last week, this was big for us. This was really big for this, team. We have all these young rookies. We have an undrafted punter. How about the job that Charlton did today, putting balls down inside the 10? If I tell him, hey, we don't want to win this game, kick it through the end zone, then, is he a good punter next year? So I think, to me, for all these guys, we're trying to teach them what it takes to win. And that's you go out in the field, you don't beat yourself, and you find ways to get things done. And I think we did that tonight.
Go to Phil Orban for the next question, and then Elena Getzenberg.
Matt, as well as your defense has played in the last 3 halves, I guess, is there something to the young players maybe figuring out this different scheme that Phil Snow is running, and maybe they just understand it better and are running it better and are playing better?
You're saying from earlier in the year? Or?
Yeah, from earlier in the season.
Yeah. Well, I think Phil's done. I really believe Phil's done an amazing job. He's adapted, the personnel. Like even this week, we had Burns like in some pass rush situations, but we didn't have him in the 3-down stuff. So we put 3 linebackers on the field. I think Phil just does a great job, and his group does a great job of adapting. And so we've changed some of the things that we're doing. At the same time, I think our guys, they're learning the game. They're learning what we do. They didn't have OTAs. They didn't have the 1,500 reps. They didn't have the chance to get those corrections. And really for the vets too, the vets have, they were coming into training camp based on what they had done, in Cleveland or what they had done here last year. And so they had to learn a whole new scheme from scratch. And so that's not easy. But I think, we want to be a team that improves every year. And hopefully we'll come out of this season and we'll have an off season to really go back and drill down and teach things, and the veterans, you don't really get good in my mind, Phil, until the veterans start teaching the young guys. Right. And so when you're having to teach the veterans from scratch, it's really hard, but as they start to say, hey, this is how we do things, you get a lot better.
Matt, I was curious, kind of going off Joe's question, you've been in so many close games this year, ones that are decided by one score less. Was it satisfying and good? I mean, obviously this one ended up close score-wise. Was it satisfying to kind of get out to an early lead and be able to maintain that and kind of see complete effort on all phases?
Yeah, I mean, I was happy that we played well at times. So there's other times we didn't play well, right? But we played well at times. We found a way to win. I thought our special teams really helped us. It's one of those games. One of the things that happens is when you have a lead and you're holding on to the win, and by the end, it's just it's not real exhilarating. You're kind of exhausted, right? When you win at the last second, you're exhilarated. So, but I was happy. When DJ caught that fair catch, I was happy for all these guys. I mean, the thing I said to the guys in the locker room before the game is like, I see Brian Burns, them say he's not going to play this week and him will himself onto the field. I see Zach Kerr come back from COVID. I see Trey Boston come in every week and just, I see Shaq answer the call week after week. I see Johnny Miller, hurt knee, hurt ankle, come back every week. So I see the sacrifices these guys make to come out and play and try to win. And so I'm glad they got a win, this win. And to me, again, I think you have to be in certain scenarios to understand what they are. Like this was a playoff game, not for us, but for the Washington football team. And for them to go out and play as well for us to go out and play as well as we did. And then, Washington wasn't going to just go away. They fought back, and then our guys, for our guys to make enough plays at the end to win it. I mean, our defense made a bunch of fourth down stops for those last two drives, or third and fourth down stops. So I think 2 or 3 of them. So that's a lot to build on.
Go to Jonathan Alexander for the next question.
Hey, Matt, you mentioned Curtis earlier, and I'm wondering, is this what you envisioned of him before the season in playing like this, and what has he meant for you all this year?
What has he meant for us this whole year? I mean, he's been a guy that, he does whatever we ask him to do, plays tailback, plays wide out, blocks, made a bunch of big catches today. I thought that run was really a special run that he made, helping us in the run game. We knew we had to run the ball 35 times to win the game. We ran it 35 times. And so he's just an all-purpose guy, and he's a tough guy, and I think that's when your best players are tough-minded, hard-working guys, you have a chance to win. And so Curtis doing that, I think every time Curtis makes a play, everyone's excited.
All right, guys, got time for one more, so let's go to David Newton before we wrap it up.
Yeah, Matt, today's game, probably if you'd envisioned this type of game before the season, I mean, I don't know if I could have envisioned where you're running the ball 35 times and winning with defense. What does that show you about this team and where you guys are?
To me, it's how most teams win in December. I mean, you get to lots of things happen early in the year, but the good teams in December, they run the football, they play defense, they take the ball away. We're not perfect in those areas, but I think that, we are a team that I hope has a plan and everyone tries to complement each other. And if you were on the sideline today, you felt that was a team that was playing for each other, that was playing together. That was not any one person trying to do it. And so we've come a long way in that regard. Those guys are out there, when we made that first touchdown, that punt, our whole defense and offense ran out to celebrate with those guys, to my chagrin when we didn't have enough guys out there for the extra point. But my point being that they're enjoying playing for each other. And I'm telling you, that's as big in my mind. That's as big as anything. When the moment doesn't feel too big, when you expect to win, and then if you have the ability to run the ball, play defense, protect the ball, play good special teams, I think you always have a chance, at least in December.